Ever in my 28 years of teaching have I got a sub report this bad. Jimmy, it says here that you went to the special ed room, brought a kid back, and convinced him he had wings. So he jumped out the 5th story window and broke both his legs. Okay, in my defense, I did not tell him to jump out the window, and it was Bart's idea. Vanessa, it says here that you put your own OnlyFans video on the projector, showed it to the class, and tried to get the class to subscribe to it. Period. On God, and I'll do it again. You gotta respect the hustle. And lastly, Daniel, it says here that you lit your backpack on fire and tried to throw it at the teacher. Yup, and I'll do it again. Come here, Mr. K. In my 30 years of teaching, have I had a class this bad that 2 subs in a row have written me equally horrific notes? Jimmy, it says here that you brought a blind and deaf individual to school, convinced her that she was in a zombie apocalypse, and she started trying to fight the class, and she killed... did she kill Vanessa? She killed Vanessa. And they had to get the SWAT team in to put her down. Okay, in my defense, it was kind of funny. Whatever, that's the least of our problems. Jonathan, so this is why our class is so small today. It says here that you brought radioactive uranium to school and gave half of the class cancer. I did, you're right. They were pissing me off. That's just not an excuse. Okay, whatever. Lastly here, Bart, it says the lunch lady got your order wrong, so you threw out the 3rd story window. Yeah, she gave me fruit instead of pizza. You know what, teacher? You're going off the 4th story. In my 57 years of teaching, have I had a class this bad that now 3 subs in a row have written me equally just horrible reports? It says here, Jimmy, that you brought a syringe to school with rabies in it. Where do you even get that? And stabbed Tyrone. Why do you stab That's racist at that point. Why do you stab Mark? Why do you stab Tyrone? Anyway, and he turned rabid, started chasing the class around trying to bite them. He bit Vanessa and killed her, and they had to call animal control to put him down. Yeehaw, and I do it again. That rabies shot showed his true colors. All blacks are like that. I knew it was racist. I knew it. Anyway, it says here, DeMarcus, that you stole the nuclear launch codes, brought them in my class, and it blew up the Dominican Republic from my classroom. See, that is not going to fly in high school. That is exactly what they said when I blew up China in 7th grade, and look where we are now. Ever in my 87 years of teaching have I had a class this hornswogglingly bad that now 4 subs in a row have written me equally just horrific reports. Jimmy, it says here that you kidnapped a homeless man, brought him into my classroom, shot him with an elephant tranquilizer dart so he fell asleep, then took out a water gun, started spraying the class yelling, "It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring." I can confirm that indeed happened. At least you're honest. Anyway, next, Sarah. It says here that you approached the sub, told him you had an F in my class, and told him, quote, "I will do anything to get an A." And I just looked in my grade book and you have an A. Sarah, you want to explain what happened there? I persuaded him to change my grade. I don't know what you want me to say. Whatever, that's the least of my problems. Jamal, it says here that on the way to school, you strangled your bus driver, took the wheel to the bus, and drove it through the wall of my classroom and ran over Jaquarius. He shouldn't have called my mom fat. In my 107 years of teaching, have I had a class this infinitesimally bad that now 5 subs in a row have written me equally horrific reports? Jimmy, it says here that you brought the class on a field trip to an amusement park, made sure all the seatbelts and all the rides weren't working, had the class all get on one ride, then they all fell off at the top and died. Yeah, I helped you out. I made your job easier. Now you only got 1 student to teach. You got a point. Thanks for looking out for me, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Anyway, it says here, Emily, that on the way to the amusement park, you saw a Starbucks, and then you, quote, shot the bus driver and hijacked the bus and drove it to Starbucks. Yeah, I did, and what about it? How are you even alive? Okay, that's besides the point, whatever. It says here, Jamal, that you kidnapped the school nurse's kids, forced him to give you some of his magical ice. Oh, that makes more sense now. And then when everyone fell off the amusement park, you revived them. You had 1 job, Jimmy. Hey, yeah, I was looking out for my classmates. Ever in my 293 years of teaching have I had a class this bad that now 6 subs in a row have written me equally just horrible reports. Jimmy, it's always you, Jimmy. Why is it always you? Jimmy, it says here that you asked the sub to go to the bathroom, and then instead of going to the bathroom, you took a flight to Australia, and you brought back a kangaroo, injected it with rabies, and then let it loose in the school, and it caused 36 fatalities. Yeah, my bad. I kind of just wanted to see what would happen. What did you think was gonna happen, Jimmy? You know, that's the least of my problems. Vanessa, it says here that you told the substitute that you would sleep with him if he gave you the money I was giving him to sub. Come to think of it, after I gave it to him, he got all happy and said, did you sleep with a substitute? Yup. Easiest $68 I've ever made. Unbelievable. Anyway, Marcus, it says here that you kidnapped the subs kid and held him for ransom so he would change your grade to an A. And you have an A in my...